this championship, and that's been the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion. I mean, it helps that they were, here last year. They had a lot of continuity, but in my opinion, the most mentally tough team is going up against a team with probably one of the most mentally tough players of all time in Tom Brady, and that's what it takes to get this championship in this year, mental toughness.
Yeah, the most impressive thing to me about this entire season has got to be Tom Brady. He comes to a new team after 21 years in New England and takes this new team to the Super Bowl, and it didn't start smoothly. I mean, that week one performance against the Saints, his coach calls him out. People are, giving up on them, even though everybody had picked them to get to the Super Bowl. And what does he do? He just steadily improves all season long, and now he's playing his best football. Okay, he's done it in the AFC, now he's doing it in the NFC. And I'll tell you what, I flew here from Boston to Tampa. A lot of people wearing Patriots gear on that plane chanting, "Let's go Brady," on that airplane. Yeah. People believe, people around the country believe, and there's no doubt the people in Tampa, the people in that locker room believe. Incredible what he has done. One of the greatest athletes of all time in any sport.
I'm not surprised that these two teams are still here because of their coaches. These are veteran coaches, not some of these young pups that we're seeing in the league. So they know how to handle it. But I was so impressed by Bruce Arians, not because of the creative play calling or the no risky, no bisky that I can't stand. No, the fact that he sat back and said, you know what? This isn't working the way I wanted it to. I'm going to pull myself out of it and say, Tom Brady, you are the GOAT. You're the greatest of all time. Yeah. You and Leftwich, you guys figure it out. And that, to me, does he take credit for that? He should take credit for it. Because for him to step away and give it to Brady, that's when this team really started ascending. So hats off to him. And I am happy to see these veteran coaches here.
Yeah, it's the humility that he showed at the very highest level, which is a hard thing to do. And I think it's because there's a shared goal. And they knew that if they could get it together, they'd end up here where they wanted to be. It's a day where, y'all tell me, you remember it forever, the moments, the things that went well, the things that didn't. Teddy, when you look back, what's your favorite Super Bowl memory?
My favorite Super Bowl memory, it's got to be just the first one is always the most special. I mean, there's something that I call the Lombardi reflection. And I think that if you are fortunate enough to win a Super Bowl, lift that trophy up high and look into that trophy, because what you'll see is a reflection of all your teammates behind you, also reaching for it. And it's a moment I'll never forget, celebrating with my family like this. Look at my sons. They're both in college right now. This was a long time ago. But to win with your teammates, man, over the course of an entire grueling season, I can only imagine what these two teams are thinking now to finish this and get this championship. But absolutely being able to raise that trophy with your teammates is the most special thing you'll ever experience.
And I think for me, just being able to get to the Super Bowl, you have a lot of players to play in the National Football League and even coaches to coach in the league, Rex, to never, ever reach this game. And I really look at the 2007 season where everything was going our way, get to this game and lose to the New York Giants. Sam, you just talked about the memories. Yes, I take the good and the bad with me right there, Teddy.
We thought we had it right there, Moss. We thought we had it right there.
Kudos to the New York Giants for being able to get their Super Bowl ring. But you talk about memories last forever. Two that I competed in, I will never forget.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to have coached and won right here in Tampa with the 2000 Ravens. We won. But my biggest memory and best Super Bowl memory was when Robbo was on the sideline with me and we saw our dad lift it off. That was awesome.
Yeah, everybody's got their memories from their Super Bowl experience. These guys could go on and on. They actually have gone on and on about this before. You haven't had to hear all that. But we've got a lot more coming up on the beach set for you later in the show. We're going to have conversations with players, and we've got a special Super Bowl edition of You Got Moss. But before we get to all that, let's send it back to Raymond James Stadium and Susie Colbert.
And Sam, as always, such special care taken to get the Super Bowl field ready. And so happy that the forecast calls for beautiful conditions at kickoff. A little bit windy now. We will have 100% chance of history being made. The Bucs, the first team in 55 years to play a home Super Bowl.
Fire the cannons, baby!
Ever.
I hate the cannons.
He loves the cannons.
I hate the cannons.
By the way, they're rehearsing the cannons. Maybe it's for the weekend and halftime and postgame. There will be no cannons actually during the game.
Hey, can you stop jumping also every time the cannons blow? It's like I think it's getting shot. I have to protect myself.
We've already had our fill of the cannons here. here at the stadium with our Hall of Famer, Steve Young, and our Super Bowl champ, Booger McFarland. Booger, in fact, you have 2 Super Bowl rings, and I was kind of wondering why you weren't wearing them.
Well, I just kind of forgot them a little bit.
All right, so there's the Bucs and there's the Colts. What stands out about both of those?
Well, in 2003 with the Buccaneers, playing with some Hall of Fame guys, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, and now John Lynch, who got into the Hall of Fame, that defense was so good before I got there. And for them not to have won anything, and then we go to Philadelphia. We couldn't win under 40 degrees, and we finally win. We get to San Diego and Super Bowl 37. And so for us just to be out there on that field and dominate, we knew going into that game we were going to win. Bill Callahan forgot to change any plays. John Gruden, we had everything we needed to beat that team, and our defense was dominant. And to see Derek Brooks running down the field with that interception, crying, was amazing. And then for Super Bowl 41, Tony Dungy, the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl, and Boog with the sack right there. Look at the spin move, and then to put the water on coach. Steve, check out the hair back then. Look at Boog.
It looks full. Looks good.
No, Dave, but that's some good hair, though.
You have hair.
Well, listen.
Was it a Boog day? Was it cool? Like
it was cool, wet. My hair follicles were working back then.
Not too much sweat.
Not too much sweat, but for Tony Dungy to get that Super Bowl and to go against Lovie Smith was absolutely outstanding, and I was just glad to be a part of that.
All right, so we've seen that you age just a little bit. There's only one person that doesn't age at all, and that's Brady. Steve, this quarterback matchup, this is epic.
It really is. And you think about Patrick Mahomes, this is a team that looks like they're built to not only repeat, but just keep coming back. And if Patrick's going to win 2 Super Bowls tonight, and then at age 25, no one's ever done that, he's like, what's the ceiling for Pat? Like, who knows? Well, where he's headed is towards Tom Brady. Because if Tom Brady wins tonight, Boog, you have to start talking about the greatest athlete that ever lived. 7 championships. Mm-hmm. You're talking Jordan, Tiger, Babe Ruth,
Bill Russell.
And if you have to start doing it, it's tough with the data to say it's not Tom Brady. So that's what, to me, at stake tonight is one of those conversations that you don't, in a lifetime, you don't get to have. But if he wins tonight, we can start having it.
Yeah.
And watch out for Brady, because he said this is the most prep he's ever been able to do before a game. His family has been out of town until yesterday, so he had 12 full days to prep, no travel, no hotel food, which he loved. Now he said the key is stay calm, just chill. It's like a slow burn till kickoff.
Protection. Get some protection.
Think about the protection. Mental game today for Tom Brady. Throughout the show, we'll be checking in with our reporters who have been with their respective teams all week. We'll hear from Diana Rossini in just a bit, but first we'll start with Sal Paolantonio and the Bucs. Sal, happy Super Bowl. You've got the true home team.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Susie. Yes, this is the 10th time in 10 that I've covered Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. And, of course, we got to start off with a newspaper on Sunday NFL Countdown. There it is, the Tampa Bay Times. There's the headline, leader of the believers. Tom Brady had this whole thing figured out before he took one single Bucs snap. I texted head coach Bruce Arians this morning, and I asked him, what was your final message to the team? And he said, congratulations, you made it. Now go finish the job. Congratulations for getting here. Finish the job. They will have positional meetings, and they will have a meal this morning, and then the buses will begin departing their hotel for the stadium at about 2:30. It's just a 6-mile trip. Now let's go across the hotel. Short trip. Back to you, Susie, on this at the stadium.
Okay, Sal, look forward to your reports throughout the day. Right now, let's turn to Diana. Diana, the Chiefs arrived just 26 hours before kickoff, and we know later in the show you'll have tons of great football stuff. But right now, let's start with a story that takes precedence.
Yeah, Susie, head coach Andy Reid will coach today after his son, outside linebackers coach Britt Reid, was involved in a serious car accident near the Chiefs facility on Thursday night. The crash put a 5-year-old in the hospital with life-threatening injuries and a 4-year-old child with non-critical injuries. Kansas City police tell me as of now, no charges have been filed against Reid, but that driver impairment is under criminal investigation. The 35-year-old coach is also hospitalized with an undisclosed condition that developed at the scene of the crash. A police report states the accident happened in a freeway on-ramp just south of Arrowhead Stadium, and that Reed was the driver of the pickup truck that struck two stopped cars that were pulled over on the ramp, one of which had two children in the back seat. The warrant asking for a blood test stated Reed told a responding officer that he'd consumed 2 to 3 drinks that evening and that he also took prescription Adderall. Kansas City police told me that if there are charges in this case, that would not happen this weekend, that it could take 2 to 3 weeks, and that is normal investigation timeline as they wait for blood toxicology results and monitor the health status of that critically injured 5-year-old. Instead of coaching in the Super Bowl with his father, Britt Reed is in the center of a police investigation. Sam?
Thank you, Diana. Look, it takes your breath away. This is a worst nightmare situation. Obviously, our number one concern is the health of those 2 little kids and that family. I can't imagine what that's like. But those people don't care about football today. Like, that's not even on their radar for obvious reasons. The difficult thing in terms of football today is that Andy Reid's got to find a way to focus on the biggest game. Rex, as a coach, how do you do that with the weight of all this in the back of your mind?
Yeah, Sam, I mean, first off, I want everybody to understand this is not a distraction. This is a devastation. It ain't a distraction. And I coached for 30 years, and thank God I never had to deal with something like this. But I'm going to say this. Andy Reid has a job to do. And there's a lot of people that were not involved in this accident that he's got to go out. He owes it to them to do his very best job. And that's what he's got to do. Now, after this game, he's going to have to take a hard look, and there may be some decisions made that he has to make. But what I'm saying is, this is a tragedy.
Yeah.
And it really is. And it seems weird for us to talk about the Super Bowl. We're all excited about it, and then something like this, that poor family.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I think we all feel the same way. And look, it's a picture of life, right? There are times to mourn, and there are devastating things, and there are times to celebrate. And this is one of those days where you try and do both, and it feels a little impossible. So we're just going to leave it at that. Obviously, all of our love goes to this poor family that is dealing with this. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you. A lot more is coming up on Countdown. We are going to do what I just talked about. We're going to find a way to celebrate because it is Super